was checking in on Facebook right when they ended that song, so I'm not being rude. Just letting Facebook world know that I'm here. And you know, we are a social media people, and to my friend and brother, and to your pastor, Pastor Ed Johnson, and to his lovely wife who is not here, and to new baby who is here. We're thankful and grateful.
Amen.
We've been praying for you all. I don't have any pity for you. I've got 5. Tried to tell him yesterday, y'all can keep going. He said, no, I think we're about done. Right? So, but it is indeed a pleasure and an honor to be here and to be with the Harvest family. Excuse me, I am a Texan, but I've never been able to fight these allergies. So if I sound a little strange this morning, well, you don't know how I sound. You've not heard me preach before, but it's indeed allergy season.
Yes, it is.
So and we are right down the street at the YMCA trying to do the exact same thing that you all are doing. And so and I come to pay him back. He preached for me for about a year. They sued me because he tore the building apart after he preached, and left me with the note. So my goal is to repay you today.
Amen.
Your rent, I'm sure, this beautiful edifice is a lot more expensive than what we pay at the YMCA. But again, my friend and brother, thank you for the opportunity to be here and to share my convictions concerning our Christ.
Yes,
2 Kings chapter 5 is one of my favorite scriptures to read.
Come on, brother.
If you have your Bibles this morning, but I ask that you will turn to 2 Kings 5 as I attempt to lift this passage in the life of Naaman. And as we look at this particular text, I'm reading from the New American Standard Version of the Bible. I'm sure y'all are ESV and CSB here. So I always, you ESV too. But I know your Baylor training, and now your DTS. They may throw the NSB in the trash.
Right.
But it is still scripture. And so and it's good to have brothers you can joke with. But we are both DBU graduates.
Amen.
So that is definitely, and we just raised over $35,000 for DBU, for African Americans scholarship.
Amen.
And you all, the pastor was a part of that.
Amen.
And giving back to his alma mater for that, we're grateful. 2 Kings chapter 5. Verse 1, when you have it, say amen.
Amen.
I'm going to skip around a little bit, but I'll deal with the whole pericope here. But for the sake of time, I want to just look at a few verses and go from there. Now, Naaman, captain of the army of the king of Aram, was a great and mighty man with his master, highly respected because by him the Lord had given victory to Aram. This man was a valiant warrior, but he was a leper.
Come on, Doc.
The 1611 King James Authorized Version will say he was a mighty man of valor, but a leper. And the Arameans had gone out in bands and taken captive a little girl from the land of Israel, and she waited on Naaman's wife. She said to her mistress, I wish that my master were with the prophet who was down in Samaria. Then he would cure him of his leprosy. Verse 8. It happened when Elisha, the man of God, heard that the king of Israel had torn his clothes, that he sent word to the king, saying, why have you torn your clothes? Now let him come to me, and he shall know that there is a prophet in Israel. So Naaman came with the horses and his chariots and stood at the doorway of the house of Elisha. Elisha sent a messenger to him saying, go and wash 7 times. The Jordan in your flesh will be restored, and you will be clean. Verse 11. But Naaman was furious and went away and said, behold, I thought surely he would come out to me and stand and call on the name of the Lord his God and wave his hand over the place and cure the leper. Are not Abner and Pharpar and all the other rivers of Damascus better than all of the waters of Israel? Could I not wash in them and be clean? So he turned and went away in a rage. And his servants came near and spoke to him and said, my father, the prophet told you to do some great thing. Would you not have done it? How much more then, since he says to you, wash and be clean? So he went down and dipped himself 7 times in the Jordan. According to the word of the man of God, and his flesh was restored like the flesh of a little child, and he was clean.
Take your time on this, God.
For the next few moments, I want to preach verse 14, all of 14 verses, but really look at verse 14. I talk about stop tripping and start dipping.
Come on, man. Come on. Come on.
Stop tripping and start dipping. I like football. I played football. Played for Carter High School and had the opportunity to go and play football, full football scholarship at Washington Baptist University.
All right.
And playing football at Carter and at Washington Baptist University, I played wide receiver. But I hear some of y'all chuckling right now, dude, you don't look like nobody. Wide receiver.
Good, man.
But pounds ago, there was a time, believe it or not, we just celebrated our 21st year since graduation. But there was a time I was quick on my feet and I could fly and I can go and do all of those things. Now I probably play linebacker, fullback, or some may even put me on the offensive line. But believe it or not, I played wide receiver.
Come on, Doc.
Now, playing in wide receiver, friends, I sometimes run a pattern called the timing pattern.
Yeah.
The timing pattern means that the quarterback didn't necessarily throw the ball directly to me, but to a particular spot on the football field.
Yeah.
Come on, Doc.
Because it wasn't coming directly to me, I had to make sure I was at the right place at the right time to receive what the quarterback had for me. Now there was a defender whose only job was to stop me from being where I'm supposed to be.
Right.
And so everything that he could do that was legal, he tried to do. But because I was needing to be at the right place at the right time,
come on, Doc.
we can do what we call a swim move.
Yeah.
That's to do whatever you can do as a receiver that's legal to make sure that the defender doesn't hinder you from getting to where you're supposed to be.
Boy.
Yes, sir.
Because it's a timing pattern, y'all.
Come on,
Yes, sir. Yes,
You got to
sir.
be at the right place.
Yes.
Come on,
At
Doc.
the right time to receive.
Yeah.
Well, today, friends, is the day of Pentecost.
Yes.
Today is the church's birthday.
Yes.
In Acts chapter 2 and Acts chapter 1, you'll find that they were in one place.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All together.
Yes, sir.
At the right place.
Yes.
At the right time.
Yes,
Come on,
sir.
Doc.
Yes, sir.
To receive God's Holy Spirit.
Yes.
Come on, Doc.
Yes.
That day, Peter preached.
Yes.
3,000 souls
Yes, sir.
joined the church.
Yeah.
It was a great day.
Yeah.
He was at the right place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They were at the right place.
Yes.
Chapter 1, verse 4-5 says there's about 120 of them
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
at the right place.
Yes.
At the right time.
Yeah.
And you do know God is our heavenly quarterback, but when he throws blessings, they may not come directly to
Come on,
us.
man.
You have to be at the right place.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But you do know there's a defender whose name is Satan, whose name is the accuser of the brethren, whose name is Beelzebub, the prince of this world, whose job is to do everything legal and illegal
Yes, sir.
to stop you from being where you're supposed to be.
Come on, Doc.
But you do know there is an old song that says, shake, shake, shake.
Yeah.
Shake the devil off in the name of Jesus.
Yes.
Why? Because we got to be at the right place.
Yes, sir.
At the right time to
Yes,
receive
sir.
what God has for us. And in 2 Kings chapter 5, friends,
Preach
there's
it,
a
man.
man who's a leper, who was a mighty man of valor, who has it going on. And Fred Haynes would say, made in the shade, drinking lemonade. He is all of that, the bag of chips and the dip. But friends, he's at the right place at the right time.
Yes.
The text says that he is a leader and a lifter. He is a captain and a conqueror. What do you find in Pastor Williams? Verse 1 says, now Naaman was captain, which means he was captain because he led the folks. He was a conqueror, friends, and he was also a lifter. He was a leader and a lifter. He was a captain and a conqueror.
Yeah.
But the text doesn't just stop there. And the text goes a little bit farther. The text says that on the one hand, his resume is off the chain, but on the other hand, he's got some butts in his life.
Yes.
What do you mean he's got some butts in his life? The text says, the last clause of verse 1 says, but.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Come on now.
Come on, man.
Conjunction, junction, what's your function? What's the function of a conjunction? The function of a conjunction is this, that whatever you say, anytime you insert a conjunction, what comes after changes everything that was on the previous. So on the one hand, he was a leader and a lifter because he was a captain and a conqueror, friends. But the text says he was a leper.
Come on, Doc.
Because he was a castaway.
Yeah.
It's a castaway, a castaway. You go home and read the book of Leviticus, and you'll find this leprous colony that the unclean had to go and hang out. They could not come into regular society. If you even fast forward to the New Testament, you'll find there were 10 lepers who had issues, who had leprosy. And they came to Jesus and they asked him to hook them up. And he says, go and show yourselves to the priest. And in order for them to come to regular society, they would have to announce very loudly, unclean, unclean. And then the priest would be the only one who could let them come into regular society. And don't forget that on the one hand, they were on their way. One of them was a Samaritan who realized that he couldn't go to temple worship in the first place. And the reason he couldn't go to temple worship in the first place is because he was a leper. Lepers could not go to harvest. Lepers can't hang out and shine the lights and nice wooded floors and stand and preach the gospel because they were castaways. They could not come into regular society, friends. And he was a Samaritan. So not only was he a leper, he was also a half-breed. And so if you're a half-breed, you might as well just be a good old Gentile and just be all the way pagan, because if you were half Jew or half Gentile, they still were going to treat you as if you were zero Gentile. I mean, zero Jew. And you might as well be a fool. But he said, look, I can't go there no way, so let me return and go back to Jesus, who's the one in the first place that hooked me up from my leprosy. The text says that they were on their way, they were clean. So in the real sense, 10 of them got new bodies, but only one of them got a new heart. Because he had enough sense to return to God and glorify Jesus.
Come on, God.
Naaman, can't you see him with your sanctified imagination, just like these fellas? There was no medicine.
Right.
No CVS. If you're my age, you grew up, Ecker drug. No Ecker. Right down here on the right. No Ecker drug down the street on the right. There's no Ecker. There's no CVS. No Walgreens. No Dr. Phil. No Ayala Von fixing your life. No Sally Jesse with those red rimmed glasses. Can't call the Pope. You're a mess.
Yes.
But we've come to church in the rain today, and we criticize and we look at Naaman oftentimes with our noses in the air because he had some butts in his life.
Yeah.
Come on, Doc.
I'm looking around here. You look good, smell good, but you too have some butts in your life.
Yes, sir.
You didn't have to tell me that. Just the fact that you're born of a woman, you've been shapen in iniquity and born in sin.
Yeah.
You got some butts in your life. Oh, y'all sung great. But y'all got some butts in your
Yes,
life.
sir.
Thank you for letting me, meeting me out there in the rain with the umbrella. He said, I told him I need somebody of high stature to do this. But thank you for being a willing worker and a willing servant here. And you all just make me want to just bring my church and collapse into harvest because of the just somebody meeting me in the parking lot with an umbrella. That says a lot. But you know what? That fella got some butts in his life.
Come on, Doc. Come on, Doc.
Yeah. Yes,
A little
sir.
beautiful young lady handed me my program for this morning. But she got some butts in her life. Ed's my boy. And I know y'all love y'all pastor. But he too has some butts in his life.
Yes, sir.
Here a butt, there a butt, everybody has a butt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In the church we've got demonic deacons, we've got creeping choirmen. We've got pimping preachers.
Come on, Doc.
Because all of us got butts in our life.
Come on now.
Brother Naaman, Sister Naaman had some butts in his life.
Yes.
His resume is off the chain in the first clause. He's leader, he's lifter, he's conqueror, he is all of that. He is captain. But he's got some butts.
Yes.
We see a sick man.
Yeah.
He's sick. And all of us in here, friends, need a transfusion from God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because of our sickness.
Come on, Doc.
It's one thing for you to understand you've got butts in your life. And it's another thing for you to do something about the butts that you have in your life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So in battle, verses 2, 3, 4, 5, following, you'll find that in battle he captured Florence on the Jefferson. You know Flo. She loved Weezy. Her job was to take care of George.
Yeah.
Weezy. She gave George the blues, but she loved old Weezy.
You're right. You're right.
And in the real sense, in battle, that's who he captured. We see a sick man with his leprosy, who's a captain, who's a conqueror, who's a leader, who's a lifter, who's a castaway because he's a leper.
Wow.
Go and battle and bring back captive this little girl whose only job is to wait after Miss Naaman.
Yes.
Wow.
Her only job, friends,
Yeah.
is to sit there and do whatever Naaman's wife needed her to do. That's what the text says. If you read in verse number 2, it talks about how he brought back a captive, a little girl from the land of Israel to wait on Naaman's wife. And she said to her mistress, I wish that my master were with the prophet who was in Samaria. Then he would heal him up, cure him of his leprosy. Listen, in spite of her being caught and captive, she still was sold out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And in spite of her illness, in spite of her being caught and in captivity, she wanted more for Naaman than Naaman wanted for himself. But if, look at the text, friends. She said to the mistress, if my master were with the prophet who is down in Samaria, he can get a hookup from the bucks that he have in his life. She sold out, friends. She sold out. And what we need more than anything today are men and women of God who are sold out for Christ. And Pastor Ed and I were talking this week, and we're trying to figure out how in the world planting churches in mega church cities. First of all, we crazy probably for doing that, is what most folks will say. But what we are finding is that there are people who claim to have a church affiliation because they went to OCBF, they went to Antioch, they went to Concord, they went to French West. At some point, 20, 30 years ago, hadn't been to church since. But because they did it back then, they don't realize that they're unchurched. They hadn't been there since the last time they've been there. And what do you do with somebody who is doing it? We need more than anything else, and men and women who, like this girl who had been caught and who was captive, said, I'm sold out because I know and I recognize his need.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Versus my want.
Yes, sir. Come on,
Preach,
man.
Pastor Damien.
Come on, man.
If somebody came to harvest today, and you want to know how you can win DeSoto, 75115 and 75232 right on the other side of the highway where I serve. It's that we've got to have men and women like you who are sold out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Who don't mind going and knocking doors. I know that sounds old. I know that sounds real jacked up. Who don't mind going to Walmart, pass out a flyer, smile at somebody. Here it is, because until we do, Santa Fe is going to keep happening. Columbine going to keep happening. Until we give Jesus to our kids and kids to our Jesus. And we quit lying saying that they're too young to learn about Jesus. Let me hang out here just for a moment. Because the reality is that same little person who we claim is too young to learn about Jesus can quote every lyric to every rap song that's out there. Nicki Minaj and Lil Wayne and everybody else, Beyonce and all this stuff. And that same little person who we claim is too young
Yeah.
to learn about Jesus and the church, if they can learn a rap song, they can learn our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. If they can learn a rap song, they can learn, Father, I stretch my hands to thee. No other help I know. If they can quote a rap song, if they know Kendrick Lamar, we need to teach them St. John chapter 1. In the beginning was the Word, the Word was with God, the Word was God, and the same was with God in the beginning. The same young person who we claim is too young to learn about that. The same person that you ought to turn to John in 14 and tell them that they've got a fantastic future. That when life happens, when Santa Fe happens, we let not our hearts be troubled. We believe in God. Believe also in me, because in my Father's house are many mansions. And then when I go, I would have told you I'm going to prepare a place for you. Now, when I'm going, I'm not going to tell you that you won't have some Santa Fe's. I'm not going to tell you that you're not going to have some issues. I'm not going to tell you that you're not going to have some problems. But what I'm telling you is I'm coming again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And if I come again, I'm going to bring you onto myself. That where I am there, you maybe also. So let's just quit telling stories, saying our young people are too young to learn about Jesus and the church. This young lady, friends, was sold out.
Yes, you are.
And we need some young people who are also sold out. Not on LeBron, not on KD.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But on Jesus.
Yes.
Who can march into DeSoto ISD and Lancaster ISD and Lord knows Dallas ISD. That's my district. I talk about it. And Duncanville ISD and open their mouth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One of the 3 million charter schools that we've opened around here.
Yes, sir.
And declare
yes.
that Jesus is alive.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And well.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Send a letter to the king. The king got mad. Because no need in you trying to send your stuff to 1600 Pennsylvania. I'm sorry. Ain't no need in you trying to send your stuff to an earthly king. When you got spiritual issues.
Wow.
Why do we want Washington to fix what God sent the church to fix?
Yes, sir.
Why do we expect human abilities to do for that which is spiritual? Only God can do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
So his clothes. He said, am I God that I can heal and forgive? But the little girl's wish came true. Down in old Samaria, there was a prophet.
Yes, sir.
By the name of Elisha. You flip back and you read previous chapters, he had a father in the ministry named Elijah. Who, when God had asked him, what is it that you want? He didn't ask for Frost Farms crib. He didn't say, I want the nicest car from Park City Jaguar. He says, all I want is double portion of Elijah's anointing. Because I know a day is going to come that I'm going to need that anointing in my life. And friends, I don't know about you, but I woke up this morning on this Pentecost Sunday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Singing that old song, Anointing.
Yes.
Fall on me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let the power of the Holy Ghost fall on me. Friends, we don't need to be trying to get social services and other things to do what God has already given the church the power to do. You want help at home? Come to the church. You want help at work? Come to the church, because we have been uniquely equipped to do what the world has not been trying to do. That's why when they say they don't need us, just stand back, because it won't be long. When they come calling us to meetings and calling us to lead prayer services, and somebody said, do you reckon we need to put prayer backache schools. I don't need anybody to legislate my home. Where my child goes to school. We pray when we woke up. I'm praying over them when they get on the bus or when they get dropped off. And we pray before we get to sleep.
Yes, sir.
You reckon we need to put it back in schools? Did it ever really leave?
No, sir.
Christians, we've been sending our kids to public schools for years.
Yeah.
And we act like this is something new.
No. Come on,
Just give me double anointing.
Yes.
Give me double portion. And God gave it to him.
Preach, man.
Elisha sends his boys up to the king. Say, this is some God business. Send Naaman the leper to me. Naaman gets mad now because by the time he gets to Elisha's house, remember, he has exhausted all of his options. No 401k, no more 403b, no TRS, no TIA craft, nothing. He's done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
His clout doesn't mean a whole lot.
Yes, sir.
Nobody cares about him being a leader, a lifter, a captain, or a conqueror anymore. Because his leprosy status has taken over. Elisha says, by way of his sermons, by way of his servant, there's a old river down there that if you cross it about 12 noon, driving from Highland Hills north to South Dallas at any given day, the Trinity River will send a swift smell through the vents of your car. That if you were driving the speed limit, you'll hit that accelerator so hard, trying to cross over that I-45 bridge, for fear that your nostrils and the hair therein will stop cringing. Anybody know what I'm talking about? You ever driven across? Okay, some of y'all, let me just go real. Back in your day, you went over to Red Coleman's or you went to go get your drink and you went across the bridge. You know, y'all are part of Black Flight. Y'all moved to the south side. Y'all got the keys and started infiltrating Dallas, but DeSoto, but because DeSoto was dry, you still had to go over yonder to get your stuff.
Right.
And that wind hit you at a certain time. You're like, oh my God. and imagine the Trinity River.
Right.
With Elisha telling Naaman, go to the Jordan, but it's 7 times worse.
Yes, sir. Come on, bro.
It stinks. Feces.
Come on, bro.
It's muddy and it's murky.
Come on, man.
Fish that were once living are now upside down, floating in dead.
Come on, bro.
It's nasty.
Yes, sir.
Now, you're a prophet. You're talking about this juice, this anointing stuff that God gave you. Why in the world, first of all, you got the gall to send your people to me? I would have thought that you would have at least come out to me and tell the leper to go and dip. You want me to go to Trinity River times 7 and dip? Not one time, maybe I can handle that. But 7?
My goodness.
Are you crazy? Not once.
No.
But 7 times in the nastiest river that exists.
Come on, bro.
Some of y'all talking about, I see why he got mad. I see why he went away in a rage. First of all, can't you sin with your sanctified imagination? You better tell him to read the first clause of my resume, verse 1. I'm superior and he's inferior. Yeah, Naaman, but somebody forgot to tell you that this is God's business. This time, it's God's business. The roles reversed. You are now inferior to the superiority of our God.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah.
Yes, sir.
You gone down to that nasty river and you dipped 7 times and he went away mad. Because he thought,
come on here, bro.
First of all, that the prophet should have come to him himself and not sent some representative. But then secondly, Because you didn't tell me to go to Bachman Lake. Because you didn't tell me to go to Lake Louisville.
Come on.
Or even maybe Lake Ray Hubbard. You sent me to Trinity of all rivers.
Come on,
to the
bro.
nastiest place. Yeah, man. And you know when you're in church,
Come on, bro. Come on, man.
and the Lord has dealt with you in a way that you don't think is right, you're going to let everybody know. You ain't got to say a word. Your face tells it all. See, some of y'all want to know why our church is busting at the seams, because y'all faces tell it all. Because you sit where you sit and some new guest shows up. They're in your spot next week and you mad. Because I'm a founding member of Harvest.
Come on, bro. Come
I
on.
know we're only a year, but this is my seat right now. I'm on the praise team. I got to get up and down. That's my seat right there. My tithes prove that's my seat. Ask Pastor Ed. Ask the finance team. I'm serving in the rain, going to get this old fat preacher out of his little burgundy car. God dog it, this is my spot.
Come on, bro. Entitled.
You got this entitlement mentality.
My.
You ain't special, Naaman.
Come on, Dad.
Just like any other leper,
Yes,
you
sir. Yes,
got
sir.
to do the same. Let me pause
Come on.
demonstration identification and just tell somebody at Harvest.
Come on, man.
You dare name yourself Harvest. Means you're expecting something from God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Which means you gotta maybe one day get ready to be uncomfortable. Because an unchurched person looking like Naaman, smelling like Naaman,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
is going to show up.
Yes, sir.
And they may be in your seat. Her dress might be shorter than what you wear.
Come on. Come on.
Her heels might be longer than yours.
Come on.
His pants might be down just a little bit lower than what you used to.
Come on. Come on.
But you ask God for a harvest.
Come on.
Be careful what you ask for.
Yes,
Because
sir.
God has a way of
Yes,
giving
sir.
it to you.
Yes.
And friends,
Come on, man.
thank God for the people in your life
Yes, sir.
who are not impressed with the verse 1
Yes, sir.
A and B clause
Yes, sir.
of your life.
Yes, sir.
You ought to thank God for
Yes,
the
sir.
people who are not always applauding
Yes.
you for being a captain and a
Yes,
conqueror
sir.
and a leader
Yes,
and a
sir.
lifter. You ought to
Yes,
thank
sir.
God for the people who God put in your life
Yes.
to remind you
Yes, sir.
of your books.
Yes, sir.
Here it is. The Bible says that Naaman's boys said to him, hey dog, this Pastor Williams
Come on.
translation. Hey man, you've
Come on,
exhausted
man.
all of your options.
Yes.
Epic done shut down. CVS ain't got no medicine. Walgreens can't help you. Walmart too crowded. Them little old women who work never, always in front of you, and then they check out with all their groceries, $300, and then they get $5 worth of prescription. But and so I can't do that. So you exhausted all of your options, and maybe the prophet is up to something. Maybe he knows something that you don't know, because he says, oh, what about Abner and Phorpa? What about any other river in Damascus? Hey, guys, I love y'all, but why did he not tell me to go to any other river? Because, man, this is where it's at.
Yeah.
When you need what you need, you got to do what you got to do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
You ought to
sir.
thank God for the spiritual chin checkers
Yes, sir.
that he sends your way
Yes, sir.
to remind you that you ain't got no more
Yes, sir.
retirement,
Come on,
to
bro.
remind you that he walked out on you,
Come on.
to remind you that she left you,
Come on. Come on.
to remind you that you tripped over your own shoestring,
Yeah, come on.
to remind you that you're here either by self
Yeah.
or by the sovereign
Yeah.
or by the satanic.
Yes, sir.
But you're still here.
Come on, bro.
Either the sovereign did it, the satanic did it, or self-inflicted,
man.
but you're still here. And you still got to go by way of the
Yes,
Jordan.
sir. Yes, sir.
That when you walk away and your wife reminds you of where you used to be,
Come on, brother.
of what we didn't have, of where we come from, that don't be so caught up that you're living in a suburb and you forget that you grew up on
Yes,
government cheese,
Yes,
on
sir.
food stamps, on those big old lunch cards
Yes,
in
sir.
public schools.
Come on, brother. Come on.
That you gotta have some people in your life
Yes, sir, man.
who are there
Yes, sir.
to not only keep you lifted, but to remind you,
Yes, sir.
even when you're alone,
Yes, sir.
that don't get so arrogant
Come on, man.
that you think that you're still lifted
Come
when you're really low. But I'm here not to criticize,
Yeah, man.
but to remind your crazy self
Yeah. Yes.
that you exhausted
Yes.
every option. You can't keep calling your mama.
Yeah.
You can't keep calling your daddy. You can't keep calling your old coach. You got to handle this God's way.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
take your crazy self
Come on, man.
and do something that you've never done before and just see what God is up to. Hey, hold on.
Yes.
Some of you here today,
Come on, man.
and you talking about faith, but you really don't have faith
Come on, bro.
because you got to see it
Come on,
in
man.
order to believe it. But God says you got to believe it
Yes, sir.
even when you can't see it. That if you asking God to do something, quit waiting for God to do it before you praise Him.
Yes, sir.
Learn to
Yes,
give Him
sir.
praise on credit
Yes, sir.
as
Yes,
if He's already moved on your
Come
behalf.
on, man.
Naaman finally swallowed his pride,
Yes.
and he went down to the Jordan River,
Yes.
and he dipped 7 times.
Yes, sir.
And the song said that he got up,
Come on, bro.
looked at his hand,
Yes, sir.
and
Yes,
his
sir.
hand didn't look music.
Yes, sir.
Looked at his feet,
Yes, sir.
and his feet did too.
Yes, sir.
Many of you are probably shocked the way I was shocked. That the water did it. No, slow.
Yes, sir.
You know, there's some days.
Come on, man.
My wife said,
Why
boy,
didn't do it?
I don't know why I married you. I said, I married you because I married up.
Yeah.
She's PhD. I'm trying to work on my doctorate.
Yes, sir.
But she already has hers. And I said, I know I'm married up. She said, well, act like it. and just know,
Come on, bro.
when you read the text, you can't read it for face value. You got to go study.
Yeah.
The blessing wasn't in the water.
No. No.
See, some of y'all still
No.
slow like me.
No.
Well, what in the world? What's the
No.
blessing?
Come on.
How did the blessing come? The blessing comes, friends,
Yes.
when you do God's
Yes.
business
Yes.
the way God tells you to do His business.
Yes. Yes.
That when you do it God's way,
Yes, sir. Yes,
that
sir.
when you swallow your pride
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
and know that you have no options
Yes,
left,
sir.
that when you learn
Come on,
to
Damien.
believe and trust
Yes, sir.
and do it God's
Yes, sir.
way,
Yes, sir.
that's
Yes, sir. Yes,
when the
sir.
blessing comes.
Yes, sir.
Don't get so caught up in the
My
process.
goodness.
My. That's it right
The
there.
process can be painful.
Yes, it can.
The process can be mean.
Yes.
The process can lead to minor depression.
Yes, sir.
But it's a part of the process
Yes.
that you, my friend, got to be obedient
Yes, sir. Yes.
to doing whatever
Yes.
God
Yes, sir.
tells you to do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's why he got his hookup.
Yes, sir.
It wasn't the water.
No, no.
It wasn't the dead fish. It wasn't the mud nor the murkiness. It's Naaman doing
Yes, sir.
what God
Yes, sir.
called him to do.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Oh, there's some nasty folk in DeSoto. There's some nasty folk in DFW. God has called us to them.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
since
sir.
God called us to them,
Yes, sir.
they ain't going to always be pleasant. They ain't
Right.
going to always look like us.
Right.
But
Right.
obedience
Yes, sir.
is what
Yes.
we've been called to.
Yes, sir.
And here it is.
Yes, sir.
We need to learn to stop tripping
Yes, sir.
and just start living.
Yes, sir.
I'm done.
Yes, sir.
But let me make this thing live for you.
Come on, man.
Several years ago, I was a professor at Jarvis Christian College. And while a professor at Jarvis Christian College, I had an old young knucklehead student from the country. I was pastoring the Kilgore Baptist Church at the time in Kilgore, Texas, and had this little country boy say, Professor Williams, I'm going to prove to you that your God is not real. I said, say, man, I just finished this master's degree. I'm broke. 2 degrees from DBU, working on a doctorate at the time. Then we started spending all these kids out, so I had to put it on hold. And I said, look, man, I know God is real. You can't prove to me that God is not real. He said, I'm going to prove to you that God is not real. And when I prove to you that God is not real, you got to run all over the campus of Jarvis Christian College and tell everybody that God is not real. He said, I'm going to prove to you. I said, man, I don't know what your old country self is up to. But you can't tell me that God isn't real, because I know personally. I buried my mother
Yes, sir.
who was murdered panhandling on 8th Street. 21 days in a coma there at Methodist Central on Colorado. Sleeping on the floor in the critical care unit floor. Going to Bible college and then my home church, New Hope in South Dallas, as the youth pastor. Doing that same routine for 21 days. My mother dying, I'm wanting to quit ministry. And I remembered the only reason I had survived all of that is because my mother told me, boy, there's going to come a day that you got to believe in the stuff you preaching to everybody else. So he couldn't tell me that God wasn't real. He said, but I'm going to prove to you. We're in a survey of the Bible class, and I'm this young budding scholar teaching these little knuckleheads. He said, I'm going to prove to you. Question number 1, since your God is so real, can you see God? I said, no, I can't see God. He said, all right. Since you can't see your God, question number 2, can you hold God? I said, no, I can't hold God. He said, well, Professor Williams, I already got you. But let me go and give you the third one. Get ready to go all over the campus of Jarvis Christian College and tell everybody that God is not real. Since you can't see God, since you can't hold God, can you put your God under a microscope? I said, no, I can't put God under no microscope. He said, Professor Williams, I've just proven to you that your God is not real. I said, man, you got to give me 24 hours. I was shook, y'all, to the core. I was shaken to the core because this youngster had just challenged me in my class. I owned about 500 books at the time. Had taken Dr. Trammell and Dr. Estes and every other professor at DBU. I knew about eschatology, numerology, almostology, and everything else. And this joker had challenged me, and I couldn't answer his question. I said, but before I do, man, give me 24 hours. I went for the run around that campus to tell everybody, but I had lost the bet. I couldn't see God. I couldn't hold him. I couldn't put him under no microscope, friends. I was jacked up. So I went home. I talked to my wife, who at the time was at Kilgore College working on her RN degree, and she was saying, boy, what's wrong with you? Why would you even do something like that with your crazy self? You know, them kids, backwoods, country, and they be coming up with all this stuff. I said, I don't know. I just let him suck me. He said, well, what you going to do? She said, what you going to do? I said, I was in my study all night, tearing up my commentaries, my books, and everything, because like I told you, I know God is real. The next morning, I was preparing to go to my lecture and go and embarrass myself. Heard a loud noise. Oh! 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 I'm looking around. What in the world? I go out of my study. I'm in the math and science building. And I see the same country boy who the day before had challenged me about God in the real, out there yelling like he's crazy. Oh! 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 I say, man, what's wrong with you, boy? We've got math labs and science labs and classes going on all around, and I've been here studying for my lecture, getting ready to go and teach my class. They ain't gonna tell these crazy folks around here this God business stuff. And I told you. He said, I said, what's wrong with you? He said, Professor Williams, I got a toothache. I said, how do you know that you got a toothache? I got 3 questions for you. And if you can't answer these 3 questions, you got to run all around the campus of Jarvis Christian College and tell everybody that your toothache ain't real. Question number 1, can you see your toothache? No, I can't see my toothache. Question number 2, can you hold your toothache? No, Professor Williams, I can't hold my toothache. Well, I already got your old country self. Get ready to go tell everybody that your toothache is not real, since you can't see your toothache. Since you can't hold your toothache. Can you put your toothache under a microscope? He said, no, Professor Williams, I can't put my toothache under no microscope. I said, well, how do you know that your toothache is real? He said, because I can feel it down on the inside. I said, well, that's my response to the questions you had for me on yesterday. I can't see God, but for at that time, 29 years, God had been seeing and watching over me. I can't hold God, but I told him, young man, well, God has been holding me. And young man, I tell you one more thing, and one thing I know is that God sits high and he looks low. But when all else fails, I know that he's real because I can feel him down on the inside. I'm done, Harvest. May the Lord bless you real good. Happy birthday, church. And it was on the day of Pentecost that the Spirit fell and they spoke in their own languages that people all over heard about them. And they came to the church by the thousands. The text says that Peter preached And DeSoto was shaken to the core, and the enemy was mad, and it was upset. Why? Because you decided to call yourself Harvest. Because you decided to stop tripping and start getting. And when you know your money is gone, your change is strange, and your credit can't get it, when all else passes away, there's a feeling down on the inside that you know God is real. How do you know he's real? Because I know he's real. Because he woke me up this morning and he started me on my way. He gave me clapping in my hands, stomping in my feet. He gave me the right sense of mind to tell somebody about a living Savior. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. Is our prayer. Amen.